think real estate, it just keeps getting easier and easier. So more and more tools keep coming out to just make our job so much easier. So when I first started, obviously I still think it was pretty easy because, again, we don't want to go back, but we got to talk about how it was before, right? So let's take a realtor back to the 90s, right? I'm a realtor now. I got a pocket full of quarters. I got to look for payphones to call my clients. I'm running around with these maps bigger than me to try to find out what the streets are and where's this house. And now I got to send my clients, you know, the houses that are on the market. How am I sending them? Faxing them, or like a big list of paper with no pictures, and all it's saying is how many bedrooms and the square footage. And like, to me, I get lost with navigation nowadays. I get, you know, to sell somebody a piece of paper, that's pretty difficult. You know, it's so easy now. They can see the home from the outside with the drone videos. They do the virtual tour. They see all our pictures. They see the description. They see the price, the text. I mean, everything is on there and then some. So by the time they come, we know they're interested in it. So it's like, now we need to figure out, give us some feedback. What was the problem? You know, let's fix the problem. Obviously, it wasn't the price or any of this other stuff, because that you already knew the price before you came. So why don't we figure out what was it that you didn't like, so that way we can fix it and we can overcome it and we can sell you this house. So now, like I said, it just seems a little easier. And if you're consistent with what you're doing, like us, you know, I'm consistently lead generating. That's something that I live by. When I'm wondering what I should be doing, that's the answer. I'm lead generating, right? So when you're consistent and you know what you have to do and you do it every single day, you will always be ahead of the ship. So it doesn't matter what the market looks like out there. You will always be busy. You're always going to have business because you're doing the work. So I just used this analogy with my team the other day. I'm like, you know, it's like you guys are pumping this pump, right? You got this well and you're pumping this pump and you finally get the water to come out, and then you stop and then you don't come back for another week. Well, what happens? You got to start this pump again and you got to get it flowing again. And every time you stop, you have to start over. So what would happen if you don't stop pumping? What would that look like? Right now, it's like this: you got a whole pool and a lake and an ocean, and I mean, but you gotta keep going. So many people, the second it starts to hurt or it gets hard, they just quit. You got this well and you're pumping this pump and you finally get the water to come out, and then you stop. And then you don't come back for another week. But what happens? You got to start this pump again and you got to get it flowing again. And every time you stop, you have to start over. So what would happen if you don't stop pumping? What would that look like? Right now, it's like this: you got a whole pool and a lake and an ocean. And, I mean, but you got to keep going. So many people, the second it starts to hurt or it gets hard, they just quit. Oh, I'm done. And it's like, bro, you were right there. It's like, if you would have just kept going, you were at that hump. And God will give you what you need when you're ready for it, but you got to work for it, bro. And the second you need it, I promise you, he will be there to help you. But you quit, that's when you fail. Just like what you were just talking about with the lessons. That's where you get those lessons. That's where I got so many lessons, because I keep failing, and I'm not scared to fail. I'm happy to fail because I'm going to learn from it. So that what I'm afraid of is regret and not doing it. That's, if you're going to do something, you gotta go all in. I don't care what it is that you're doing, you do your very best, because that's a standard that you set for yourself. And plan B is literally death. That's what you have to think to yourself. It's like, I'm all in, I'm 100% committed, and plan B is death. So there is no plan B. Burn the bridges, burn the boats. There's no way out. So, and when you think of it that way, I mean, and to stay motivated, you just need to be growing. Take in information and use it. And when you're growing, that'll keep you motivated. Because when you're not growing, you're dying and sad and depressed and, you know, all these other things. So if there's something you can do, and you can do right this second, is get up and do something. I don't care if it's 20 push-ups. I don't care if it's 20 squats. Pull out a book, read 10 pages, do something. And after it's over, reflect on how you feel. And I promise you, you're going to like it, and you're going to want to do it again and again and again. And once you create that habit, that's what's going to dictate your future. You cannot just do the same thing and expect a different result. You got to do something different. Sorry, bro, it's my
do you have a habit that, like, you really specifically, like, I love doing this on like a daily or weekly, and something like that comes to mind?
So I have a lot of habits. So I live by a schedule. So from the second I wake up, I mean, I have that on my schedule, the gratitudes. That's first thing I do. You know, you cannot be grateful and mad at the same time. So if I stay in that gratitude state, I'm always happy. You know, have you ever seen me mad, upset, down?
I think one time, but you were joking. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, is he pissed? And then all of a sudden you start busting out. I'm like, oh no, we're good. We're good over here.
I like to clown. That's one thing I do like to have fun.
No, and that's what's, I think people could feel that. And I think that's why you dominate, is like people that can, break down trust with people very easily, and like, are easy people to learn from mainly, I think. When it comes to like, when I reflect back to college or something, like it's hard to learn from, let's say, professors or people that are just like tough, man. They just don't vibe with people, or like they just have all their barriers up because of whatever, but it's like when it comes to, I feel like a lot of successful people, or more so, I wouldn't even say success, but just like people are driven, people that have like a mission, and that could be, to be the nicest, kindest person in the world, or it could be to be the best real estate investor in the world, and if you're driven, you're going to stay locked in, you're going to be happy, and it's like, but I think it's just when you lose your overall mission on where you're trying to stay focused on your target, that's when you turn your focus right back on you, and then you start getting in your own head, and then you're like freaking, you get lost, and you're a lost little puppy, and you're just freaking like, am I doing this right? Am I wrong? Am I right? And that's when you get doubt comes in. But usually that's right in the time where it's just like, keep pushing forward, keep grinding.
So I always think, love is always the answer, right? So I think of our business as a faith-based business, and, I'm very faith-driven, and, I carry these in my pocket all day long. I hand them out, and literally this little Jesus, without him, I know I wouldn't be here. So I do everything from my heart, and I know he's going to take care of the rest.
Without a doubt. I think I've most recently really started praying a ton, and I could feel the difference. And I loved when you first showed me that. Like, that was one of the coolest things. I'm like, just little things that bring character to people. And that was one of the things that's like stands out.
I've handed out.
You got a lot of layers to you, and I feel like that's what brings a really good person.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hand them out by the thousands. Everywhere I go, I got a whole pocket full of them. So everywhere I go.
Let's talk, milestones, moonshots. Like, most recently, like, besides all the tools, gadgets, AI stuff, like just full on projects. Like, in real estate, you got some certain goals, like, coming up on like very specific, or let's say
I could give you a couple goals, too. So,
Yeah,
and
fire
this
away.
is just on the team, right? So right now, every single month, we're like top 3 in the state of Illinois, and we're not going for number 1. And we're first, that's, goal number 1 in the state, number 1 in the Midwest, number 1 in the country, number 1 in the world,
Yeah.
and then number 1 in the universe. And after that, we going
Keep on
somewhere
going.
else, bro. And we all taking this ride together. So that I know for sure. And the only thing that can stop me is death, bro. There is no plan B. Like I said, you got to die. You have to kill me to stop me.
let's say somebody does kill you and you got to get into a new industry because you're reborn. Besides real estate, what would you get into?
That's a great question,
You may already
bro.
be into it, and just like what's something that you would
I
dive
think
deeper in?
I think I would go into just helping people, bro. I think I have a lot to. I've been through a lot. I've I come from hell, so I can relate to a lot of people, and I think that would probably be it. I want to help people.
Why don't you put that together? Like
I already kind of do.
Like,
I already do. I
saw
coach
you did some
people.
calls
I do
lately.
coach some people. I do. You see, I'm at the office
Right.
changing lives every single day. I'm
doubt.
coaching my team. But if I had to come back and not do real estate, I think it would be, that in a mass scale, just like, thousands of people and all around the world. And that's what I think I would concentrate on, because I do love helping people, and I love, showing them what's possible. Because if I did it, bro, I'm not even sure if you know my story, but it's
You gave me a good glimpse. I heard it.
it's a mess, bro. And, I shouldn't even be here. So that's why I'm very grateful.
Without a doubt. And I think you're a great coach because of all of that, according to, and what I see with all your kids too, and coaching and sports, and just like that's, that goes such a long way. And it's, I think not everybody's built that way. And, cause if you could coach other people, you could coach yourself. And
Yeah, start there first.
exactly. And if you're coaching yourself, that's how you'll improve. And, you won't get to those next levels without freaking, testing waters and like reflecting on yourself and being like, why didn't that work? And then it's like, if you don't know the answer, find it out, or go into somebody and be like, hey, this is what I've been doing. I may need some help, or I may want to, shadow you, or I may want to ask you some questions. I may want to have a podcast with you. Like that's, I don't know, those people I think will stride ahead a lot more than anybody that's just, a lot of people could have ambition. It's like, I feel like I was very ambitious all the time. Big dreams, big goals, everything. But it's like, until I put down the, like, hey, I need to really ask better questions and, really dig deeper into like, stop talking about myself and like really being like, okay, picking your brain. And like, when I sit down with people, like, hey, just keep asking questions, keep learning. Like no matter who it is, it could be my 9-year-old cousin. I love it because I
Get
can ask him a
inspiration
question.
from everywhere.
And freaking, or the 82-year-old down the apartment building. Like it's you could learn so much from
Everyone,
conversation.
everything.
And like
Just sitting in this room, I get inspiration. That's
That's
why it's like just I love that's step one is like your environment, right? So like if you're in a bad environment, you got to fix it.
you guys have an
You could
awesome
create it.
environment. Your office is sick, absolutely sick, and that's what motivates your workers to be there. That makes them want to come in every day and to just keep on going. Versus you see some shells out there that are just like now in a world where people want to work remotely. You know how hard it is to probably get them to come
Right.
inside. Like that's because nobody cares as much as you do. It's your business,
Right.
it's your thing, and it's like you want them to, and you could strive every day to teach them to, but they're never going to love it as much. But when you create a cool place and like your branding is off the chain, and that's what any like a new beginner that was just coming in is like maybe came from straight out of high school and they're ready to go. You have a great I forget his name already. He's the basketball player Jacob.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Jacob. He's a great example of like somebody that instantly gets just a glimpse of what success could be like, and then also a good environment. And he was a super cool guy to meet. Like
And
while I was
thrives.
there. And he's thriving for sure. And I think he's got it. If he sticks in this like long run,
He got his license.
Ron
He's already
Rowe.
got houses under contract. 18-year-old
smoked.
kid. He got his scholarship. He's getting a whole bunch of money together before he goes away to college.
That's crazy.
And the fact that I helped him do it, it was awesome. And one of his teachers, he told his teacher that he wanted to get into real estate. I think he was like a sophomore at the time, and I didn't even know who she was. I didn't even know the school that he was at. He was like up north somewhere, and he calls me. He's like, "Alex, I want to get into real estate," and here he is.
Yeah, that's you pitch a lot, you change lives, and like instantly you do that either via conversation or through work, and like through all that, and like that's powerful stuff, man. And bring it back to Jesus stuff, like that's exactly what he would want, and like you're living, he's living right through you, you're living through him, and it shows, man. And like that's why that's where success comes from, and the future has to be built by more people like you. And if that happens, I think we can have an awesome economy. I think we could have an awesome community. We could have an awesome network and all that. But that's also having high expectations. And sometimes, that's just not how scenarios work out, because, every day we roll the dice, and sometimes, God and the world gives us, different things to react to. And you could only, take it as you please and, roll with it and move forward. That's what, like, I just want to keep thinking more forward thinking. It's like, hey, no matter what happens right now, today, what can we do right now that will affect maybe a better future for tomorrow? And, like if you could keep doing that, you could build some good stuff. And I think a lot of the big, best forward thinkers, best visionaries, that's all they were built on, was basically like, I don't care what my scenario is right now. I just want to build something that tomorrow I'll be proud of. And if you could do that, round of applause.
That's it, bro. Just got to keep going.
Right?
That's it.
In the, man, I want to definitely have Jamie on here with you one day.
I should have brought her with. That's
I know.
a good idea.
I think that would
Right.
be, we'll have definitely another conversation. And at this moment, I just do want to say we've talked a lot about technology. We've talked a lot about business and technology, things like that. This is an awesome moment to think about people. And my charity, Fidon Foundation, is going to donate $1 for every view that
Okay.
is on this video.
Really cool.
And it's something that we're going to try and keep on doing. Rates are going to change and things like that as viewership changes. And really excited to help and give back, because